Man, your show's gonna be awesome, bro. Your show's gonna be awesome.
Okay, Taniscapi, how's it going, everyone? While we're waiting for people to phone in, I do want to say thank you for everyone for all of your support and all of the views that you guys have given me over the time. We have an awesome show that's getting ready to come on for you guys. We have Cali Faye, we have Hollywood Ocho. I mean, how much better can it be? Hollywood Ocho is a professional wrestler, and who doesn't like professional wrestling? Come on. It's just awesome. Definitely somebody that you guys need to check out. But he's also a director, an actor, and a producer. We also have, like I said, Cali Faye is coming on as well. And she is a writer, she's an author, she's an actress. She does a whole bunch of things actually, and she travels around. She's very helpful. She's a humanitarian. And so a wonderful show. But before we get started, let's go ahead and hear from our sponsors, Honeybee Funds.
Man, your show's gonna be awesome, bro. Your show's gonna be awesome.
All right. All right, that was awesome. That was a special thanks to what we have going on. We have powwows and events going on. That was a special thanks from Steven Silver Brave of MMIW Texas Three Magistrate, and so as well as upcoming powwows because I know that we have people that always ask about upcoming powwows. So those are some of the powwows that will be coming up here soon, and you look to see me at the powwow in Cleburne coming up. That's gonna be awesome. So that's gonna be fun. I may or may not be live from the powwow. We'll see. Depends if I get the bird's nest. So we will see for sure. That'll be awesome if we can. But anyways, coming up as well too. We have a lot of really awesome things going on in the industry. I want to thank some of my sponsors while we're still here in the beginning. One of my sponsors I would love to thank is peaceoflifeshop.com. And these guys do hemp as well as medical grade. So here we go. And this QR code right here, this is what makes a difference. So yes, this is THCA, this is hemp. Now, this right here, the QR code, this does is it helps to make sure that here in Texas is a prohibition state. So this helps to make sure that you stay within legal realms, which it shows this lab as well as an extended lab, as well as the product that's inside to show that, hey, what this is actually what it is. The second sponsor, which we're going to have on a guest next week, is Water Pure Texas. All right. Honestly, water is life, and it's either carrying minerals or vitamins into the body, or it's carrying harmful stuff into the body. It's really it's really important because there's a lot of stuff that's been tied to mental health due to the water that we drink and the way that it's filtered. And every month they do a chemical flush. There's some areas like in Dallas where the water just smells, and so it's definitely important to make sure that your water is stable, it's clean, it's hydrogenated, and we want to make sure that everything is going great. So I will have David Bowers on next week, next Wednesday, as a guest here. So that's going to be awesome. Really appreciate it. The second thing I would like to actually bring up is, let me see, another upcoming event that we have is I've actually been added to the cast of One Bomb. I would love to actually share a little video that I made for the film and encourage everybody to go and give a like to the page. It's on Facebook. I believe there's a page also on Instagram. I'm not sure if they finally let it go through. Keep an eye out for the IMDb. However, we're going to play this part right here because this was made today, and I'm really appreciated of the directors and writers of One Bomb. And so, Will, if we can go ahead and play that real quick. Hello, I'm Little Dog. You can catch me in an upcoming film called One Bomb. Hola, hoy soy Carlos. Me asisten no próximo filme One Bomb. Obrigado. That's pretty cool. Thank you to Raquel Mahoney for helping me out with, learning some Portuguese as well as teaching me what I wanted to say today. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out. Very much thanks. So it takes us all, I don't speak Portuguese or Portuguese. I've been learning through Duolingo because anytime that I find a role, I do want to make sure that I do the best that I can in representing it. And that includes learning the language. And so I'm very excited for this one. This one's going to be out in the UK, Blackpool, Black Liver, I believe it is. And so I'm super excited. The writer and director, they're going to be a guest in a future episode as well. Can't wait to have them on. We are going to have some amazing things. And Calvin, thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the hearts. And let me see. Oh, and also, okay, which leads me into my next part of this that we're going to go into. So, our other part that we like to thank is the Blackfeet Language Academy. We also thank you guys for supporting us ever since we started and being basically a part of our network. And so you can go over to find them on Facebook, but you can find them to learn the language because I like to teach the language. The way that I teach it, I learn is to teach as well. And so we are all learning together. So today's is my my quickie. Sorry. My sorry. I was practicing it. I've been practicing it all this time. And so it goes to figure that whenever I get online, that is whenever I start to mess up. Mach the quickie. Mach the quickie. Now, what that means is not much or literally nothing new. So whenever somebody says, Uki Tsaneskapi, hello, how are you? Mach the quickie. That's almost like a way of saying not much, you know? So you can take it as you want. You can also use, it also goes along with the greetings of Itsukapi as well as Matsukapi. Itsukapi, all is good, doing great. Matsukapi, not good. And whenever nothing has changed or everything is just cool, Mach to quaking. Mach to quaking. Okay? Now, moving on to the next part of this, to the announcements too. Now, there is one thing that I do want to bring up because there's miseducation here in the States. And one of the miseducation is, you know, whenever it comes to Native American studies, there are, to the victor is basically what goes to the writes history, right? The victor writes history. And so they've been successful at removing indigenous history from the textbooks in the United States. I've had the pleasure of being able to go to school on and off the reservation. And on the reservation, history is a lot different than it is when you're off the reservation. They teach you something completely different. And it's like, no wonder why people think that we're all extinct. They're basically teaching them in school, hey, this is how it was in history. They're not letting everybody know that, hey, we're still here and that we're still in the history books. We're still fighting the fights. Not too long ago was, or a few years back, was the Keystone pipeline. They're fighting over there in the Apache reservation, the Navajo reservation. Big corporations are always trying to take over because part of the treaty thing is that they thought that they put us on very useless land. And back then, yeah, it was useless. Couldn't grow crops. No really chance of growing, cattle or animals or anything like that. And one thing that we were able to do now is now they find that, hey, we have minerals, we have oil, we have lithium, we have, all sorts of different deposits on the land that, you know I don't want to say they gave, but basically they stuck us on. And so, and then they came in with a treaty and said, here, sign this, or we'll just come in and wipe you guys out and take it anyways. Anyways, don't get me ranting. But there is a renewal coming up. There is one school that teaches Native American studies here in Texas, and there are a few others that are trying to as well as there is a coalition of people down in Austin who are trying to make a difference, as well as to get this petition signed. So get your phones ready, if you're not on your phone already, but get somebody else's phone ready if you are, and scan this QR code. It's going to play on the side of the clip, and it's going to lead you to the petition. Please sign the petition. Let the state know, hey, we want these actual courses in. All right. We'll go ahead and play the native course
Currently,
video.
only 3 out of over 1,000 school districts across Texas have an American Indians Native Studies course, but other school districts such as Austin and San Antonio have expressed their interest to teach this course, which is why we need your help to make sure this course gets renewed this winter. For a little bit of context, the American Indian Native Studies course is currently offered as a pilot course in Grand Prairie ISD, and it is up for renewal at the end of this academic year. The renewal would renew the existing course that is already approved and make it available to teach in school districts across Texas for the next 5 years. Unfortunately, the renewal process has not been placed on the agenda at the State Board of Education meeting this January, which is why we need your help. Because school districts often define their calendar for the next academic year in the early winter, we need this course to be renewed as soon as possible so that it has a chance to be offered next year. Please help us email State Board of Education Chair Kinsey through the link in our bio or in the caption below to make sure that the American Indian Native Studies course renewal and adoption be placed on the next available agenda. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. We really appreciate it. And so we appreciate all the support. Everybody that can go over and help out with that, we really appreciate it. And, that'll put history back the way that it should be. Okay. That is definitely something, like I said, that is actually a passion of mine and passion of us over here at Today's Entertainers with Little Dog. And I know that, my producer is also, on board with this as well from Bell Ringer Films. So we thank you guys. Go over, sign the petition, give it a like, give it a follow. We want to make sure that we get that out there. And so let's see. I believe I have. Oh yeah, I did. So one thing that I do as well too, and this one's also something that I do, and I'm only contracted here in Texas to do it currently. Eventually, I plan on moving, to the rest of the United States as well. However, one thing that I do is I do pension reviews. Now, not everybody has a pension, so I do retirement reviews as well. What I do is I help to identify any financial gaps that you're going to have when you go to retire. And this one's for my business, Red Bones Financial. Now, I sponsor the show utilizing Redbones Financial as well. What I plan on doing in the future is, as actors, entertainers, we're all self-employed. So I want to make sure that we have our own thing set up as far as like retirement goes, that you're not going to have to keep working, invest smart. I'm going to have a little bit more of a segment on that in the future. It's something that I'm still building towards. I also have a couple of financial professionals who have been doing this a lot longer than me that I will be bringing onto the show to talk about it, and I cannot wait for that. And so that one's for Red Bones Financial. The other one that I also forgot to bring up is that whenever we do Water Pure Texas, is going to bring over one of the machines that we'll be able to test with. So we're going to do a quick demonstration whenever that happens next Wednesday on how we test the water, what all pops up on the tests, as well as, anything else. So we're going to try to film that ahead of time so that way whenever we come into the interview, we can just show a clip of it, okay? And I'm really excited about that because it is a venture that I am actually getting into as well. I do what some of you guys know and some of you don't is here in Texas, North Texas, storms happen all the time. So I've been doing roofing for a very long time. And there have been many times that I've tried to walk away from it. But every time I do, it calls me back. Every time I'm out, it calls me back every single year because I cannot go without telling people no. I love helping people. And so, and Mateo Kawan Construction is also my company, Little Dog Roofing and Construction. What we started doing is we actually partnered with Water Pure Texas, and we offer free water testing to all of our clients and inspections. So excited about that. Now, I'm very excited about some upcoming guests. This is where we get to the fun part, because in the waiting room we do have Cali Bay. She is, Tianna Jones, also Cali Faye. She's an author. She owns her own business, which is Cali Girl Books LLC, and she's a musician. You can see hear some of her raps, especially her songs on YouTube, and actually you can find them on TikTok as well. So be looking for them there. She has her own books. She has her own magazine publications. I've done a little bit of research on her as well too, and it looks like she has been a background in sales, which you can kind of tell just by talking to her. She's very good at networking. She's very good at speaking. She's a very good speaker, and so I'm very excited to have her on. Now, I'm about 4 minutes early, but since she's in the waiting room, I do want to get started. So here is a little trailer, because she is also a director. She's a director as well as producer. So here's a little trailer about what she has coming up. I believe she's made. I'm gonna let her tell you a bit more about it. So Will, if we can go ahead and do that, appreciate.
Inside, she felt so alone. That little girl was beautiful inside, with a fury of pain as she grew. Emotionless the time she started to grow. Wasn't until she was on her own. Walking down the streets of California in the Bay Area with no soul or care for anyone. Her loneliness and anger turned to bitterness. Stop crying inside, little girl. Thoughts came from the angels above, while they watched over Cali Girl's steps, as she took a deep plunge into the treacherous streets of Detroit, chasing her heart's pain, looking and always searching to fill a void. Unfortunately, the tasks at hand are so hard. Watch this girl grow and blossom into a woman by reading her words. Experience the pain, passion, love, betrayal, and enlightenment within a beautiful soul by learning how to overcome life's circumstances alone. A journey that took deep planning from God above. Watch what happens next.
All right, that is awesome. Now, here we are. Hey, how's it going?
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today. I'm
Hey, not
grateful to be here.
not a problem. Appreciate you being here. Now, I know that you travel around a lot. I saw that in some of your posts. I know that not too long ago you were down here in Austin as well doing a media mixer, and so that's pretty cool. If you don't mind, give our crowd a quick introduction to who you are, real quick.
So my name is Tianna Dena Jones, also known as Cali Faye. I'm 14 ethnicities. I'm a singer, songwriter, movie producer, director, music producer, and also economic developer. So my main thing is humanitarian work, global peace work, charity-based work, but also morality of good ethics. So I work with the mental health as a mental health aide, and I deal with a lot of different types of people worldwide as an author, as a creator, as somebody that can bring value. That's how I do it.
That is awesome. Uh, Now, sorry, I was checking out the live to make sure everything was going. I saw you still talking there, and I looked back up. I'm like, oh wait, you should have stopped talking. Uh, so how did you get started in, I guess, entertainment?
So, long story short, basically, it's a passion that I've always had as far as in writing, singing, rapping, just building poetry, emotions on paper, literacy. So, once the internet hit, I believe that that was the best thing for us 90s children because I was able to use technology. And once that was able to happen, then that's what kind of got me going with the networking and being able to really just focus on one person in each state. And it went from MySpace to Facebook, and now it just exceeds to like all these other platforms. And boom, there you go.
That is awesome. And that is something that actually we hear recurring a lot on the show is networking. How important is networking to whenever you're trying to grow, especially as an artist or musician or, somebody in the film industry?
Well, it can be challenging for many people who really don't have that connection to communicate with certain people. As far as in cyber communications, it's super hard because we don't know necessarily who we're speaking to or if those people are legitimate. So, honestly, it all depends on the person if they have ambition, great communication skills, great energy, positive impact, positive thoughts and emotions, because really it's who you deal with is what could rub off in your day. So it just depends on you. It's all about energy.
Okay. That is awesome. And one of the other things that I saw too, because I was looking at your videos, was that you have a background in sales as well, right?
I do briefly, just for the last 15 years. I was able to do that as a single mother when I first started, going into my first occupations. But then what happened was I more leaned into a creative side due to just opening my own company because I was mistreated and properly, mistaken in the publishing industry. So you want to make sure you protect your works. I want everyone to know that www.copyright.gov is where you go to legalize your music, any of your media literacy, any of your, work that you want people to see. Don't show anyone. Do that first.
Hey, that is some great advice. There's a lot of people that I hear about, hey, they stole my idea, or hey, that looks exactly like my script. I just showed somebody that and then they stole it. So very good advice.
Well, I don't have that issue because I own everything. But I always tell people, as a company, as an individual who had to dodge a bullet and dodge a major issue at hand that could have resulted to just an epic nasty story. So I just make sure that I'm not used as an example. But if
Mhm.
I am being used as an example, it's from God and it's from a higher power of spiritual energy that's giving people good information, factual information, and not wanting anything in return. It's just got to be genuine.
Yeah, for sure. That is awesome. Now, I do have a question too. What about now the clip that we just watched was actually from a much bigger clip that was on YouTube. You want to tell everybody your YouTube channel real quick?
So my YouTube channel is Cali Faye. So it's the @ and then it's Cali.Faye or Cali Faye or Cali Faye 506. I mean, it just kind of depends. But if you go in and you look up Cali Girl, how did you make it in the treacherous streets of Detroit? Automatically, you'll see that trailer, which was the book trailer that pops up for that particular autobiography, which is my story. And that's the clip that shows, an insight of the emotions based off me as a child, my inner story of, growing through traumatic stress and traumatic traumas and, overcoming that and showing a little journey and a little piece of the pie right there.
And you said that it was based on your book, right? Was that your first book that you wrote?
It was. It took 9 years to write. It took 2 years, honestly, 2 years to type up. And then it took another 4 years just to market. It was the longest project. And once I saw that it took so long, I realized there's a way to do this simpler. And if you focus and really just mainly do the same thing over and over again in focus and theory, there's no reason to take that long doing projects. It's a more or less, maybe the first time's a lesson, but the second time should just be automatically like a blessing to that lesson.
Hmm. It's like the first one is like, oh, this is my very first one. It's got to be perfect. It's kind of like having kids, right? Your first one is that you're so strict on, and you're like, hey, all these different rules. By the time you get to the second one, you're a little bit more laid back. By the time you get to the third one, it's like, all right, they're kids.
Yeah.
But you don't just stop caring. You still care about them. It's just you're a little bit more relaxed about it because you know what to expect. And so that's pretty cool. And then I also saw that you have your own magazines as well.
Correct, because I own a publishing company, Cali Girl Books LLC. We publish people's books, music, all arts, media, magazines, software, technology, film, and music, and pretty much anything, because you're in that transition of dealing with patents, trademarks, and copyrights. And then when you understand where to value in those categories into individuals who have certain types of projects, then you're able to highlight how they can save and keep the 100% royalties to their publishings. Now, it depends as far as in services that we provide, but every individual has a unique package that we cater around them, which again, marketing them in magazines, All Lives Do Exist, is based off of the global peace movement that I had founded in 2020, and also Women's Lives Do Exist, which means equality for all human beings on earth, made from a creator, to show that that creator exists within. And that existence of equality shows that everybody is able to be given the same opportunities, and they are supposed to be given the rights of human rights, as due to the exceeding ancestral boundaries of our forefathers, our four founding fathers. So it's very, very basic, and it's common sense, and our leadership now needs someone like me and others like yourself to come forward when we have opportunities to give. So magazines, publishing works, new music, is a form of frequency healing, media and software, which is a form of helping businesses grow economically, and guidelines to help all of these things intertwine and align, because we are all one. We are all intertwined with spirit. We are all combined in an atom. We are all breathing the same air. And when we bleed, we all bleed the same color. So it's all practical science and arithmetic, and also literacy and technology and media. And that's what we do here. We take an individual who may be gifted and have creative arts and creative scripts or ideas, and they own that. And then they're able to digitally branch out through AI and other materials, through softwares and engineers that are under our categories in our company. So there's a lot of different new technologies coming out for publishers, for script writers, for film, for everybody, honestly. And if you can catch a wave in this industry, this would be the time to learn as much knowledge and educate yourself in any course, in any class offered, whether it is from different indigenous to respectful education of creating trust with human rights, or the balance between evil and good. But it all depends on the people that are willing to subject themselves to the positive light mass of production, who's fighting the good fight, like yourself on this podcast.
Mhm. Yeah, I appreciate it. That is awesome. That's a really good thing to have, because not very many people or companies really are willing to help people out who don't know where to go. There are a lot of companies who are more than willing to take advantage of somebody who doesn't know the directions, as far as like writing their scripts, or writing their music, and they'll take advantage of them by being like, oh well, here's this deal, we'll go ahead and publish it, but we're going to take the, if not everything, the lion's share, and so it's cool to see some of that's out there. That's good, to a good resource to help out. Now let me ask you, how do you prefer to be contacted if somebody was to want to contact you for that? Because I don't want to get too far before asking that question. Do you prefer email or messenger, or what would be the best route?
Honestly, you guys can go to www.caligirlbooksllc.com, or you guys can contact on any social media platform through Messenger, and it'll get back to you. Sometimes it could be AI, and sometimes it could be some employees, but other times it may be myself. But sometimes in emails, it could be contacted through shared email. Again, if you want to reach me and you really want to go somewhere with your career, and you know who you are, and you have value, standards, morals, integrity, then I can help. And of course, don't contact me unless you've already copywritten your own work and you own 100% of your work. We don't even review work unless that has been done, because the morality behind it is I want to show people that they can too be respected to keep the rights to their work. I'm not there to do anyone wrong. My company is there to build a formation of integrity, which gives endorsement of integrity, whether it's investors, whether it's filmmakers, whether it's casting crews, whether it's project directors, whoever we work with musically, filmly, technology, through any type of media, any way we work with them. Doesn't matter what category. We respect the human spirit. We respect human beings. We do not, all lives do exist. I respect people. So I want people to respect what we are about, the new advanced generation of technology and publishing, which gives people back what they've been stolen the whole time. And again, that's their human rights, that's their critical thinking, that's their morality. And again, we'll run courses to show you how to protect yourself later on when this gets even more down packed, because again, as the years go by, more approaches grow with companies. My company will just grow and continue to give value to humanity as long as we're able to get the funding to continue forward.
Nice. That is awesome. Now, you also mentioned a little bit earlier, and I didn't want it to get too far from there, but we kind of touched on it a little bit here a second ago. You're humanitarian, but you said in 2020. What did you get going right there? If you don't mind elaborating on that a little bit.
I was always someone that loved other people, but I was always someone that wanted to be accepted, wanted to be loved, wanted to find my niche in the world. Well, I realized that once you let all that go and you let God and you know who you really are, and you start to be aware each day, you have to take the accountability. I've taken the accountability for who I am. I've taken the accountability for anything that I have been able to accomplish with the rights of knowing my human rights, with working different ways through educating myself as a, life 360, someone who came from change, came from poverty, came from, dysfunction, came from so much trauma. And I want people to know that anyone can change, but not everyone does. And don't expect people to change. Just know that you have to have a self value and worth of what you will put up with. So for me, this all started just knowing that there needed to make a change, and I had to make a sacrifice of letting go of things that I loved to see what the value of God gave me, to know that it was never let go. It was just put away for a better time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Great sales technique.
Mhm.
Hey, I love it. I'm very much into it. I always say that, if we wanted to advance your career, something that does help out is sales techniques, honestly, because you need it in order to run your own business. You got to network. You got to know how to market yourself. Same thing in entertainment world. You got to know how to network and market yourself, which is really great because that's something that I see you doing quite often, actually. And I see you traveling around. Like I said, not so long ago, you were in Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been going everywhere. I was in Santa Clara, California, franchised my company in 3 states. In Michigan, it's in Michigan, Texas, and California. So honestly, going to San Francisco, Los Angeles, Santa Clara, going to Pacifica, I mean, you name it, I went through Colorado. You go all through all these places when you're traveling. And, for me, I like to travel and I don't fly. I just like to drive through, get straight to the point. I like to be there early. So I'm just one of those people where, communication is good when you're traveling, because if I'm coming to see you, you don't want me to just show up and say, "Hey, I want to have an interview with you."
Yeah. No, I totally get it, and that's pretty cool. It's cool to see you travel around and network yourself and move your company into multiple states, which is really awesome because I know that I see a lot of people that talk about expanding, but they never ever really fully get there. And so it's really cool to see somebody doing it, making it happen. Not too long ago, I also saw another post where you had opened up a clinic.
No. So what it is a community center. We actually originally got the building for the publishing company wasn't a town, 10,000 rural town. It needs a lot of adjusting to what evolution is as far as an outside the town, outside reality. But I did go there. I communicated with the people. I threw a few events, and then I opened a nonprofit because I decided, okay, well, these people need the same opportunities that I also took as far as in the journey. Hey, Cali Girl, how did you make it in the treacherous streets of Detroit? Right? So I'm already Cali Girl. I'm already the person that was in Michigan that survived from 18 years old, $10 in my pocket, weeks worth of clothes, originally from California. Grew up in Texas. Grandfather from San Antonio. So I have so much background in all these states that I'm franchised in and that, I grow in. And it's because of this factor of knowing, okay, where should we go with business and networking? Are we going to be able to keep communicating, or are we going to cut it off? No, the whole thing is you're going to want to keep going. See?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That's great. And that's really cool that you did that. Now, there's a little history behind the name of that community center, right?
Yes, definitely, because I have two grandparents and they are different ethnicities that I guess back in the day wouldn't necessarily get along. As far as one grandfather is Sicilian, Greek, Italian, and Jewish. Another grandfather is African American and 100% Blackfeet. So his grandmother is 100% Blackfeet. His grandfather is from the Jones, Louisiana slave plantations. So it's just an interesting story. And his grandfather located himself and relocated, and their family relocated in Texas and Lockhart. So it's nice to know that even that side of my family has so much generational wealth in the roots of the land because as long as I circulate the energy and go back to the land, I feel like it can get the healing. Maybe something can happen. We're uniting the tribes right now, having this interview here, this discussion. So I feel like naturally intention sets everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I'm Blackfeet myself. What family are y'all from? Because I'm from the Little Dog family, or that's where Emeteo came. Emeteo Kawan, or Little Dog, came from. Is actually from my family name in Browning, Montana, where my reservation's at.
So I have to go pull it up on the Wikipedia that I have on there with the
Mm-hmm.
14 ethnicities. But so my great grandmother, she's African American, but she's from Mississippi and she's also full Blackfeet. So it's a mix of basically ancestral African Blackfeet. So I didn't know that most Blackfeet had African American in them. And I was not even familiar with that at all. I've never even heard of that. And then I started doing a little research and I was like, okay, there's actually African American in a lot of ethnicities. And it kind of showed me that so many different ethnicities have alignment and connection together. And it's no separation. It seems like we all shared the land, we shared a meal, we shared our ancestries, shared that time together. Does that make sense? And it's intense. It's like I feel like my ancestry, family may have known yours. And here we are through technology, not knowing each other through Facebook, just getting to know each other, and having this interview. And then boom, here we are. I mean, it's crazy. And for me, it's again, you only know who you are unless you connect with the true self. That's all I can say too. I don't want to mislead anyone watching us today saying, well, I can't find who I am. Listen, you are who you are through the spirit. If you feel your family, if you have a good heart, if you love your family, and if you know the truth and you find, information, that should be good enough for all of you, and if not, educate yourselves. Like he had the QR code, go find out more in depth to find out the tribes. Other than that, I mean, all I can say is I'm 14 ethnicities to keep up with every single one of them. And I have they're most my family's still alive. It'd be a headache. It'd be like chaotic for me. So I'd rather go to my journey with the spirit of God on my own. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Whenever I go into my ethnic background, you know, I'm Blackfoot, I'm Blood, I'm part Apache, and the other one that I had, which was kind of a little bit of surprise to me, which I guess it really wasn't too much of a surprise, was I'm also French Canadian, and so I guess two different ethnicities, but three different dialects. So because the Blackfeet and the Blood, they were part of the same confederacy. They were basically they weren't the same tribe. They were different like bands of the Blackfeet Nation or Blackfeet Confederacy, which was you know the Blackfeet are the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai. And so I'm Piikani and Siksika, as well as now I'm still doing more research, but I found that somebody who's in my lineage, which I've heard a lot of people say is this and theirs, but as Geronimo, his one of the people in my lineage. And then on the French Canadian side, I haven't done a whole lot of research there. However, I'm related to the Provost family up there, and I've met a lot of family that's pretty awesome. And I've heard that some of our tribe is actually over there in Germany as well. They speak some of our language. Now, off of some of the research that I've done, I've noticed that there was a gene that was very strong in South America that kind of weakened as it goes towards North America, and as you go over, the quote unquote land bridge, it gets a bit weaker. By the time you get down to India, it's completely diluted and it's no longer available. But there are some people in Asia that do have the same gene that is extremely strong in indigenous people that's not found in any other indigenous people. So that is pretty cool about genes and DNA testing and all that. So I enjoy doing some of the research like that. I do want to look more into my history because you just never know what you're going to dig up and find.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
amazing. And so please tell the viewers that, when we share this about your work, because, my viewers may not be familiar with you, and I want them to know what an amazing, actor you are and what partakes you to feel your passion. Please tell them.
I appreciate it. I've been in sales for a super long time. I've been uh I want to say about 20 years now. First thing I started doing was I was selling breakfast burritos with my parents because I had to go to, well, I was who's who I'm American high school students in high school. And so I had gotten to be able to go to Washington, D.C. For presidential classroom. And so, we had to earn the money to get there. So I did that with my mom for a while. After that, I kind of walked away because I was pretty shy. It was hard for me. I wasn't the kind of person that would just walk up and introduce myself to somebody. I
Mhm.
had to
Like
be the
me.
first to do that. and and then after that, I've been in a bunch of sales jobs, but I in high school I did a short video called The Goatman Prophecies. Now I wasn't supposed to be the lead actor. We had somebody else, but he came in and he got camera shy, so he ended up on the camera and being a voice in the film, and I ended up being the lead role. And so it was really cool. It was fun. And then later on, we were involved in a ministry, my family was, and I'll never get the footage from that, but I wrote a lot of plays while I was there. And me and my sisters, me and my friends, we would all act it out. And a lot of the stuff that I did was comedy. Unfortunately, like I said, I'll never get the footage because we don't have ties with them anymore, and they turned out being more like an actual cult than anything else,
Oh,
unfortunately. Yeah.
okay.
And
Well, I mean,
so,
hey, you're being honest. So, guys, we don't judge, right? We don't
yeah.
judge here.
And so we cut ties with them. So that's why I'll never get the footage. But about 2 years ago, my first project was Bass Reeves. And honestly, I didn't want to do it. I was trying to build a roofing company, and it was with a different friend, and so it was in a different direction. But Amy, she was like, hey, I really want to do this, and we had met Audrika at a powwow, and she was like, hey, they're looking for more extras on Bass Reeves. And so I was like, yeah, go ahead, you can go do it. I don't want to do it.
Hmm.
But she kept begging, she's like, I want to do it, but I don't want to go alone. I was like, you won't be alone. Audrika, who we just met, is going to be there. And she's like, no, I really don't want to be alone. I was like, all right, fine. After like maybe like 4 or 5 days, I was like, fine, I'll do it. And so I went on set and we got booked for 3 days, which was pretty fun. After that, I kind of got bit by the acting bug. And then I got called back for another day over in Strawn. And then I got called back for 2 more days in
Wow.
Waxahachie. And so that was my first professional acting experience. And then after that, I just kept getting calls, and some of them I wouldn't even apply for. Other ones I would apply, and I would say that I would apply to around 100 casting calls a week and turning in as much auditions as I could. I was watching YouTube because it does cost money to go into acting. And then after that, I got cast for another project that's we're still working on it. However, the writer separated from the crew, and the director was like, "Hey, does anybody have any writing experience?" And I was like, I do. I could try. I was like, I haven't done it in a long time. So then I
Uh-oh, we're
started getting into
losing we're
writing.
losing service. Hold on. If we hang up, then there's going to be a part two. No. But no, I do have to run. I just wanted to wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much. Cali Girl, How Did You Make It in the Treacherous Streets of Detroit is the book. You guys can get it on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and that's the movie coming. Right now, we're working on a Tubi series, and that's showing spiritual giftings of the unforeseen. It's called Chillin' with Cali Faye. And you guys can get my music on Spotify, Apple Music, and again, tune in with Little Dog. He's got some real stuff popping, guys. All right. I love you guys. Thank you, Little Dog. I see that it's cutting out, but peace be with you. And I cannot wait to meet you in person and get in a film with you or put you in my film because you are impressive. Okay. All right.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. God bless, guys.
All
Stay
right.
tuned. Peace.
All right. Peace. Okay. We're back to just me, I guess. I guess I'll talk a little bit more, fill a little bit of time because Hollywood Ocho is not coming in until 8 p.m. Will, if you don't mind, see if you can message him, see if he's available a little bit earlier. We'll see if we can bring him in, all right? Do that on the group chat. And so that's why we have the group chat. Anyways, I guess I'll talk a little bit more about the projects that I've been on to fill some time. So, I just kept getting callbacks and I started networking as an extra. And I would network with other extras. And what I found out was that, excuse me, was that, the other extras, they're also producers, they're writers, and, hello, Benita. That's my sister. They're producers, they're writers, they're doing other projects. So that's why it's important to remain professional on there, to be friendly and talk to other people on set, because you never know where your next break is going to come from. Either it's going to be coming from another actor, it could be coming from a PA that's working on set, it could be coming from the director. You never know who is watching you. So you always got to remain professional, as well as be friendly, and then whenever you're on set, you're there to work. And so don't complain about production. That's how you build a bad name for yourself, because nobody wants to work with somebody who's negative. If you're negative all the time, I mean, you may get a lot of work up front, but however, eventually it's gonna fade out, and you're gonna get to the point where nobody wants to work with you. So don't be that person. But going into it, after that, after I did a lot of extra work, I did a lot of my stuff from legacy casting for those who are looking to get into acting and start off in background, as well as getting some good roles, because they've gotten me some really great roles as legacy casting. They have a website, and that's www dot legacy, or not legacy, www.mycastingfile.com. It's my casting, casting file.com. And it's free to set up a profile, it's free to check out the breakdown services, it's also free in order to apply for these. And that was the first site that I went to, and for the first year they accounted for over 90% of my business and a lot of the stuff that I did. And so really awesome, really thankful to legacy casting, because they were the ones that cast me for Bass Reeves as well. And I did a commercial, or an ad. I think I did at Apple model. Oh, I was a model for Apple for corporate training, and I believe that came off of Legacy as well, I want to say. And I've just done a whole lot of things after that. I was with Lions Act Productions. They had Lions Act Productions had actually Lions Act Productions gave me my first speaking role. Well, actually, the other one that I'm a writer on, they gave me a first speaking role. However, it's never been released, so you know I'm thankful for the experience. However, my first release speaking role came from Lions Act Productions, and that's Lions Act AC or LIONSACT Lions Act Productions, and you find them on Facebook as well. Marcus Davila, who's been a guest on here previously, he is one of the heads of that. It is him as well as his partner Sabrina, and they're both into filmmaking. They're both making some great waves. Definitely a company that you're going to want to follow up with. And if you're young into acting, and especially if you're down south, you'll definitely want to network with them, because what's going to happen is, if they he believes in giving people a shot, and so I really appreciate them. I really appreciate them for all that they do and all the films that they put out. And then they're also independent filmmakers as well, which here in Texas is getting big, and they're based in San Antonio, Texas. So it's Texans making films for Texans. Another one to follow is Robbie Mitz. Robbie Mitz is, I'll be in a film later called Stairway with him, and that one's going to be an awesome film. It's a time period piece. It's going to be in World War II, and so he's also been a previous guest. Check out one of our previous episodes for his, and you can find them. They're all on the IMDb. I've listed them all as, the title as my guests in the title. So it'll be easy to find. You can find us on Spotify. So here's a couple of things to follow, okay? Is my Spotify. Every Friday we have a new episode that gets released. On YouTube, Facebook, we all have, we have the productions that we do live, like today on Wednesday. And so, I'm really excited. Now, I'm taking a look into the studio, and it looks like we have our other guest here too. And I'm actually very excited to introduce this man to you. He is a filmmaker, he's a director, he is a producer, he is a SAG actor, as well as he is a professional wrestler. And there's nothing cooler than professional wrestling, right? I love it. They're actors, they're stuntmen, they're just everything. They're extreme. They're awesome people, and I love watching them any chance that I get to. So, without further ado, we are going to play a trailer by uh, sorry, we're gonna have a trailer, and I'm gonna have him explain it a little bit after he gets done introducing to himself. So we have Michael Ocho, or Hollywood Ocho, and I'm excited. Let's go ahead and play this up real quick, Will.
Listen, your daughter's in a good place. There is hope.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm glad to have you on our show today.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Man, that is an awesome trailer. Before we get into that, though, give us a little introduction to who you are. How long you've been in the industry.
My name is Michael Ochotorena. Since nobody can pronounce that, I go by Michael Ocho, or Ocho for short. I don't think I've been called Michael in a long time. I am a SAG actor. I've done over 200 movies and TV shows. I make movies. I'm a director. I'm a partner in Burning Bull Publishing, which is a publishing company. I'm also a partner with the Outsiders production company in San Antonio. We just recently finished filming Alamo City Zombie, and I'm also a pro wrestler, deathmatch hardcore pro wrestler. So I'm actually the AIWF heavyweight champion of the world, or as most people know me as, Hollywood Ocho.
Man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is very impressive. Everything that you've done and everything that you've accomplished, man. Uh, how how long ago was that you got into acting or in singing?
I've been doing acting now for about like 12, 13 years. Um, my first half of my life, I was involved in gangs, prison, um, and that kind of stuff. I was a drug dealer, drug addict. I was involved in Mexican gangs in prison. I did 10 years in Folsom Prison, and I changed my life around. So I shifted into acting, ministry work, and pro wrestling eventually. So I'm doing it all now, and yeah, I used to make a lot of money as a drug dealer, but I'm much happier doing this line of work.
No, I understand. I have a little bit of a history myself, and you know that money was easy and it was quick to come by, but it also left pretty fast as well. Uh, I am much happier the way that I am now. I'm not as money's not moving as fast, but you know what? I don't got to worry about things. I know.
I think I do all right, and I think I do all right with what I do. The fact is that to all those who glorify that life and glorify the type of life like in Scarface and other gangster movies and stuff. Um, there's only two ways you're going to end up: either in prison or dead. And thank God I made the right choice, and I'd make that choice over and over again because I'm doing stuff for my community. I'm doing stuff for the homeless community. I speak in prisons, at-risk youth, um, churches all over the world. So I'm trying to give back, and it's fulfilling knowing that I'm doing stuff in a creative way now. So I became a giver instead of a taker, and I couldn't be happier.
Man, that is fantastic. And you've accomplished so much within the 12 years, man. That is amazing. Uh, now, I do want to go back before we get too far from it. I want to talk about your upcoming film. That's what
So
you're looking for.
the one that we just saw was the standoff. People that know Ocho know I do some faith based movies as well. I'm really known for John Light, which is basically similar to my prison life story, and it's co-starring myself, and Dean Cain, the guy who used to play Superman. Um, so John Light is what I'm known for. So I do a lot of faith-based movies as well. The Standoff being one of them. Um, I filmed that in San Antonio, Austin, and Seguin, Texas, and it's about a man who has everything taken away from him, no hope. He's mad at God because he comes from a family with an overzealous Christian father, and he's mad at God for everything. Decides he's going to take his revenge on God and prove God's not real by becoming a church shooter. And with the power of prayer and the power of the pastor, the power of God behind the pastor and the congregation. Well, I can't give away the story, but things change.
No,
So,
understand.
so yes, I was really happy. Right now, it got released on DVD and Blu-ray, and within any day now, it should be released all over multiple channels and streaming.
Nice. That is awesome. What
And currently, too, I have a two movies that are in post production with the editor. One being Dumb Luck, which is kind of like a Dumb and Dumber, um, Up in Smoke kind of movie, pure comedy, pure idiocracy. My two sons actually are the stars of that, Mikey Ochotorena and Josh Ocho, and They play bumbling idiots, teenage idiots who accidentally grab the wrong package, thinking it's their get rich scheme, and they grab the package of some experimental drug that was done up by the cartel. So they're being chased by the cartel, and because of the idiocracy, they're getting away, killing cartel members, and a whole slew of adventures. So Dumb Luck is close to being finished, and of course Alamo City Zombie, which is a horror comedy movie that we filmed in San Antonio.
Man, that is awesome. Actually, I wanted to come down to the class because I'm friends with JJ, and JJ was one of our previous guests.
Yeah,
And he was telling me about it. I was like, "Oh man, I really want to come down there for the class and try to see if I
we're
can
gonna
jump on the
have
project too."
we're gonna have plenty other classes coming down. Me and JJ Fernandez, we run acting classes down there in San Antonio. So we're always having classes. And if you want to be in a movie, you don't have to take the classes, but just hit me up, hit JJ up, let us know because we have a slew of movies coming down the pike.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
He's my partner with the Outsiders.
okay, awesome. I definitely do want to be on it. I'm with you guys. I see you guys' projects that y'all have been making. Y'all have been doing really, really great. And I've seen some of that stuff because I watch JJ's page a lot. His Like I said,
Yeah,
he's been a very good friend of mine. I met him while filming American Coyote, and we had a great scene together.
I'm
And
on that movie as well.
what's that?
I'm on that movie as well.
I did see that. I saw your name on part of that too.
Yeah,
And so I can't wait to see it. I mean, it's got a lot of really great people in there.
yeah. I'm the
And
main villain. I'm the main villain in that one.
nice. That's pretty cool. I got to I can't give the scene away, but I got to do a pretty tough scene with JJ. We just kind of freestyled it. It just kind of flowed really well. It was great.
Yeah, JJ is a great actor. Great. It was his first time directing, so we co-directed. Um, Alamo City Zombie. So when I was acting, he was directing. When he was acting, I was directing. And it's gonna be a really funny movie. We can't kind of if you haven't seen Zombieland, it's similar to that. Um, and so we have a lot of funny stuff in that, and I can't wait for you guys to see that.
Nice. That's gonna be awesome, man. And I would love to work with you guys in the future. So I'll be
Oh
reaching out
yeah,
as
yeah. I'm making movies now. Right now, I'm down here in Tucson, Arizona. It's like my second home, so I go back and forth from San Antonio and Tucson. And right now, I'm filming a movie called Kukui Man, kind of like the Boogeyman, and it's a teen horror movie. So all the actors in this, most of them are going to be teens. So pray
nice.
for me.
You got to deal with them all day long.
Oh yeah, but you know what? I've filmed a few scenes already, and they're up to par, and better than some of the actors I've worked with. Trust me. So
Nice.
I'm excited for that one to come out. I'm just constantly busy, constantly filming. A lot of my projects I fund myself, so so I'm constantly filming.
Nice. That is awesome, man. And it's cool to see that how busy that you're staying and that you're able to stay busy. That is really awesome. Eventually I'd like to get to that point. I have about 5 movies in the pipeline I booked for this year, and I do like it. It's really enjoyable. I love getting into character. You know, I love reading the scripts and being able to be like, oh, well, this is what it comes to, and like the character I did a little bit earlier for the Portuguese one. And here's the thing: is I don't speak Portuguese, but I started learning it for the role.
That's good, man. That means you studied, you got into it, and I always say the best actors are the ones who study, take classes, continue to grow, take advice, and even people who say no, you're not doing it right. You got to be able to take direction in order to grow. So you can't just go out there saying I'm the best actor in the world. And the old me would have said that, but trust me, I've worked with some actors where they blew me away, and I was like, man, I gotta be on my A game.
Nice, and that's something that I always say too is like because I do a lot of sales training, and for me, it's the mindset that I have is always be learning, always be growing, And
Yeah.
so I don't ever consider myself to be always 100% professional in anything. I am a professional at what I do, but I'm not the best at what I do. There's always more room to grow because once I get to the mindset of there's no more growing, then I know that I'm going to start lacking because
Yeah.
I'm going to fall behind. And
Yeah, for a
so,
while I was like, I'm the best villain out there. I'm the best bad guy out there. But the truth is if I don't grow myself, there's gonna be some young blood and some. There's always someone ready to take your spot.
mhm. And I'm very interested actually in your backstory as well too of how you started and how you got through, the gang life and came out and been able to turn yourself around. That is actually a
Yeah,
very big inspiration. You have it's similar but different from like Danny Trejo. He except he didn't get discovered till way later on, and
yeah,
so
I've worked with Danny. I've worked with Danny twice. We do have very similar stories. Um, basically, I grew up in California. I'm from California, and I grew up without a father. I grew up angry because my father chose drinking, drugs, and women over his two kids, me and my sister. I turned to gangs and was in gangs. Um, got busted my first time, seventh grade, I believe it was, selling drugs. So I spent a lot of my teenage years in and out of juvie. I graduated to the big time, and I did quite a bit of years. Got added on years while in prison. Um, I joined a prison gang in prison and did a lot of horrible stuff. I got out of prison and was still dealing drugs. I was an enforcer. So if you owed the drug man money, I was the one that came knocking on your door, and that was not a good thing. I'm not proud of that life I lived, and I'm a little ashamed even saying what I did, or implying what I did. But I did horrible stuff, and I'm living proof that a person can change, and a person with a black heart can actually change. A person that's been in prison or doing drugs or on drugs or selling drugs can change. A person who's hurt people and done other stuff can change. My experience is that I found God,
mhm,
and I'm not here to be one of those holy rolling Christians that push God down everyone's throat. It's what worked for me.
that's
I heard of a God that died on the cross for everyone, including sinners, including people who did horrible stuff, including people who just were the worst of the worst. Some examples being Paul, who was the killer of Christians, the thief on the cross next to him. And I thought to myself, if this God could forgive um, them or forgive everyone, he could forgive me. And I just rolled with it from there. I met my wife, who turned me on to Christianity, and became a family. And I never thought I'd be a family man. So I guess without my wife and without God, I wouldn't be standing here or sitting here today. I'd actually be, like I said, in prison or dead. And now I speak all over the country. Like I said, I speak in prisons, at risk youth, on drug rehabilitation centers. I was a heroin addict for a lot of years. I used to speedball, and I had two heart attacks in my early 30s and OD'd once. So I'm living proof that God is a miracle worker. And like I said, I'm not pushing God down people's throats and saying you got to do this and this and this to be successful or to um, turn your whole life around. It's what worked for me. It's what worked for me, and I will always give him props. And even in interviews that don't have to do about religion or Christianity, I'm going to give God props through it all.
yeah, for sure. And that's a very excellent testimony, man. It's amazing to see, how somebody with determination can turn their life around. And I have one question though. Did you face any backlash after leaving the gangs or
Yeah, and the type of gang I was in, it's almost like blood in, blood out. You can never leave. But let's just say, like I said, I got a pass from God. As long as I'm doing good stuff and I continue doing good stuff in the community, I think I'll be all right. Now, if
nice?
I go back to doing the bad stuff, I think that's when I'll have issues.
It's basically that protection is lifted.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get it, man. That's amazing. That's amazing to see where you're at now.
Yeah. So
And
a lot of people, I'd like to also say a lot of people think I'm 100% Hispanic. I am. My grandmother was 100% Mascaleto Apache, and so I am Native and Spanish, and I have the best of both worlds.
nice. Hey, we may be related somehow.
There you go, man.
And one thing that I would say, especially like Hispanic down in Mexico, they're all indigenous as well. You know,
Yeah, my mother-in-law
ancestors
is
were very long time ago.
yeah, my mother-in-law is full-blooded Yaqui, and they're from down in Mexico and stuff. So she speaks Spanish as her main language, but yeah, she's Yaqui.
That is awesome. It's just like up in the mountains over there in Mexico. Most
Yeah,
people don't know that if you go into the mountains, they don't speak Spanish. They speak their indigenous language.
yeah, and
And
that's
so,
it's something that should be studied. Something that if you come from that culture, you should still not lose that language. Um, my kids, I get on them all the time because they refuse to speak Spanish, and I'm like, you can't lose your culture.
mhm. And that's why I do the Blackfeet lessons at the beginning of it. It's me learning it as well as trying to teach it to learn it myself. I also teach it to my kids and my family. We try to get to the point to where we speak Blackfeet in the house, and
Yeah,
that's where I'm trying to get us to. So that way we don't lose it. Because if we stop speaking the language, then what happens is we're part of the reason why our culture died. Right?
exactly. Like
And so,
I know my grandma. I know my grandma had customs and stuff that I wish she was still around to teach my kids. But I guess when I tell other Native Americans I'm Apache, it's not very favorable. But we're all one people. You know what I mean? And even now, not even just Native. I don't believe in racism. Anything. We are all one people, and I only see the good in people.
that's awesome, man, and that's always a good thing to have, and that's what I like to do too. I like to see, I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I believe everybody is inherently good. I believe that I don't believe
I
in
don't care if you're
separation.
I don't care if you're purple, brown, black, polka dot. If you have a good heart, if you're a good person, I'm gonna treat you with the utmost respect. Um, and that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. What I'm trying to teach people all over
That's
the world.
and
Don't
the way
don't
that I
judge
see things
don't
is
judge a book by its cover.
uh,
And
okay.
I'm covered with tattoos head to toe, and I get judged a lot for that. I'm trying to teach people that don't misjudge a book by its cover.
Exactly. That's a great lesson, especially because whenever you look at you, it's easy to feel intimidated and see the different tats and all that. But it's like, hey, you know
Mhm.
what? This
I got a long goatee that goes down to my past my chest. It's like people like automatically think criminal drug dealer, this and that. I'm not saying that wasn't me in the past, but sometimes you should look past a person's appearance. That's why I do homeless ministry too. Um, I look past a person's circumstance, and I look at their heart, and that's the way I feel we all should be.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, I've tried to grow in facial hair, but I can't.
See the Spanish part of me. This is the Spanish part of me that's able to grow that. But yeah, so the only body hair on me is my goatee.
Is my hair? That's where
I
mine
used
went.
to have long. I used to have long hair too. My braid was down past my butt, and but then the white hair started coming in, and I couldn't look like that.
No, I gotcha. No, that would be a sight to see, though.
Yeah, I had long hair. Used to be a biker. So.
Man, that is really
But no,
cool.
I'm
I
really
can
excited to
just try to
be.
imagine you like that. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I have an AIWF pro wrestling show down there in Texas, so I'll be returning to Texas on the weekend of March 22nd. So March 22nd, we'll be in Bastrop Community Center and Convention Center. I'm sorry, Bastrop Convention Center, and we're going to be doing some hardcore deathmatch wrestling out there. I'll be defending my heavyweight championship against Destroyer, and so I'm excited to come down to back to Texas again and do the wrestling thing. So I got to put the Bengay on all the bad parts and bandage up all the bad parts, and this old broken man will go back into wrestling again.
And I love wrestling. That is awesome. I would love to come down and check out one of your matches
Well,
as well.
you should. It's in Bastrop, which is right there by San Antonio. It's by kind of in between Austin, San Antonio, Bastrop, and it's at the convention
Yeah, I
center on
remember the commercial up there.
Saturday the 22nd at 5 p.m.
Saturday
So if
22nd.
anyone who hasn't watched Hollywood Ocho or someone who wants to watch Hollywood Ocho will be kicking some ass that day.
I love it, man. That is awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been in wrestling for?
Not too long. I started late in life, so I've been in it about 5 years, 6 years. And I met one of my best friends, Tony Covington, in a movie I was doing. He is a wrestler, goes by Hack, and he actually is a horror host, a really well-known horror host, Hack's Horror Show, which is all over the Monster Channel, all kinds of channels he's on. And he's a horror host, but he's also a pro wrestler. And he saw my look. He saw that I could do promos off the top of my head, and he was like, "You need to come down and guest in wrestling." And little did they know I was going to come in full gear and ready to wrestle. So I just ran it from there. I've been wrestling nonstop since then. I'm kind of old now. I'm wrestling for a wrestler. I'm 47, so
Oh wow.
I'm wrestling 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and uh, I'm over there soaking in Epsom salt for days afterwards. I
Oh
fall off
man,
scaffolds. I go through barbed wire, tables, fire, glass doors. Um, I'm all cut up I'm all a bloody mess at the end of the match.
oh man, yeah, that does look painful. It really does. I mean, even though I know that there's some rehearsal that goes into it,
It
but
hurts.
that looks
Oh
painful
no, it
still.
hurts. It hurts. We know it's predestined. You know who's gonna win, but the hits are real.
Oh yeah, telling, especially when you guys hit the mats and everything. Because I've been to a couple of smaller promotions, around the DFW area, and
Mm.
I've heard them too, and they hit, and it's just like, oh man,
Yeah, I've had
you guys are stuck in on top of it.
on two occasions I had my ribs broken twice. In 2021 I broke 4 ribs, and the end of last year I broke 5 ribs. So it's you can get hurt.
Yeah, and that's not fun.
And I think the first time I was wrestling with Rhino from WWE.
Yeah, dang, that is cool.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that broken ribs, and everybody who's ever had broken ribs know that that's no joke. That hurts
It's
bad.
like I couldn't. Any little cough, and you laugh, you sneeze, you move the wrong way. I had to sleep on a recliner until they. But then my dumb ass is I was wrestling a week and a half later, so with broken ribs. So I just don't learn. I guess I just don't learn.
you know, no, I didn't go wrestling or running around like that, but I had to go and act after I broke my ribs, and I was even
It's probably
crawling
hard
on
too.
the in mud on one of
Yeah,
the days.
it's. I have to say, breaking your ribs is one of the most painful things you could ever do. And in 2021, I was wrestling at a GCW event in Detroit, Michigan, and I had to fly the next morning. So flying with broken ribs and altitude, I ended up getting pneumonia slash COVID. So broken ribs, pneumonia slash COVID. I almost died. So I'm lucky to be alive, I guess. And it's not fun, but I'm telling me I I continue to do it because I love it.
Yeah, that definitely takes some love and for the industry for that.
Yeah.
That's the same. I broke my ribs playing. Well, the first time I broke my ribs, I was skateboarding, but I retired after that. The second time I broke my ribs, I was playing Choctaw stickball, and I was told to quit, but I still play.
My wife's told me I have to retire, or you need to retire, this and that. But she knows how much I love it and stuff. And my son now, who's 17, wrestles too. He's Hollywood Junior, and so it's kind of like Rey Mysterio with Dominic. You get to wrestle with your kid, you know.
Yeah.
That's the greatest of all the championships and accolades I've gotten. The best part is I get to wrestle with my kid, and then acting wise, my son Mikey, Josh, Mariah, I get to act with them, and so I'm proud as a father when their kids follow in their footsteps.
That is awesome. It's like building your own legacy, your own wrestling legacy. One
Well,
day y'all be as big as the Usos, right?
I tell that's one thing I tell my wife is like all this I do is building a legacy for my kids. The cool thing about being an actor is that you're immortal. And I'm not talking about life wise. I'm talking about people will see your films and your works 50 years from now, and
Mhm.
I'll be long dead and gone, and my stuff will still be out there.
Which is awesome, man. And my family, they're,
I
I'm
found
kids.
the secret fountain of youth.
There you go. Everything continues, and I see the same way. That's the reason why I do so many businesses and work so hard. It's also why I love acting. My family loves acting too. My kids love to act. I'm trying to build, and I say the exact same thing. I'm building a legacy. I'm building something for them to continue working forward whenever I'm gone, or I decide, that it's time for me to stop. That they can keep going forward from where I stopped,
Yeah, I've done some
versus having
research.
to start
I've
up
done
everything.
research on you, man. I've seen all the stuff you're up to and the stuff you're doing. I'm really proud of you, bro. Yeah, I only wish you continued success and for you just to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, you have great drive and desire, and I really like that, man. That's why I'll definitely be putting you in some movies. I'm going to be doing soon.
Well, I appreciate it very much, and I thank you very much. I thank you for coming on to the show as well, because you know honestly, you're on a whole nother level, and all that you're doing and all your the independent films and bringing it here to Texas. That's wonderful. That is awesome. I know that Texas has become a bigger market than it used to be, and to see filmmakers coming here and doing films here like you are, and it's just an amazing thing. I feel really good about it, and I love promoting. Especially I love
Thank
promoting
you.
all artists of all types, but I especially love promoting Texas and people who
Thank
are
you.
making different things in Texas. So you
So I'll be
know,
honest. I am not a Texas native. I am, like I said, from California. I've lived in Tucson, but I've lived in Texas about 4 years now, and I consider Texas home. When I first started making movies down there, I'm sure everyone was like, "Who is this guy trying to take over this Texas scene?" I'm not trying to take over. I'm just trying to be one of the fine points of Texas, one of the instrumental arms of Texas, and I hope that I'm able to inspire people. I'm able to build upon Texas legacy, and when it comes down to it, I feel like I'm a Texas native by adoption.
I feel the same
So
way. I'm originally from Montana. I'm from the Indian reservation up in Montana, Canada area,
mhm.
and I transplanted here in Texas. I know a lot about Texas history. That's what my expository speaking was on. However, whenever we left, I kind of joked around. GTT gone to Texas. I'm a
Yeah,
transplant as well.
I had to get used to like the Mexican food down there. Tex-Mex is not for me. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Never will be. Um, and people were just so damn nice over there, and I'm not used to that. But yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But I got used to it. I love the culture now. Still not used to the Mexican food there, but I always have Tucson to come back and eat. Um, but I love Texas. I love the actors out there. I love just the drive a lot of the actors have out there. There's a lot of people out there doing some good stuff. Like I said, I'm involved with JJ, and we have our production company. We just started The Outsiders, and then we got Carmona out there doing King of the South. I'm involved in that one as well, and I promote Paulo Carmona is doing out there. And then I'm also, like I said, I was involved in the American Coyote and some of Bert Lopez's stuff out there, Brandy. So I give all of Texas filmmakers, actors, oh Kiki, I can't forget you, Kiki Hasuki. Um, so there's a lot of you guys out there. I give you nothing but respect, and I wish for nothing but success. Go do your thing, guys.
For sure. And everybody supports that, especially, I know Kiki as well. Kiki's pretty awesome. I met him doing the uh, media mixer, actually. I met him on Facebook mostly. It's kind of the same way, reached out, networking. And that's one thing that I've gotten pretty good at. Well, not gotten pretty good at. I was pretty good at it from sales,
Yeah, yeah.
I had to market myself a lot. And so I just translated it over. For some of our viewers who are watching, since you're in multiple markets, how important is networking whenever you go to set?
Basically, I tell everyone this: people who take my class, networking is the most important thing. Talking to people, getting to know them, um, volunteering to help them. Without networking, you don't meet new people, and it's who you know in this industry. Truthfully, I got to where I am by who I know, and now I have some pretty famous friends. Um, one of my best friends is Damien Chapa from Blood In Blood Out,
Nice.
and I've toured with him, doing meet and greets and stuff. And then I've met other stars. Like I said, I worked with Danny Trejo twice. I worked with Eric Roberts about 6, 7 times. Julia Roberts' brother. I worked with Noel G. Hector from Fast and Furious. I worked with, a lot of who's who names and stuff, Vivica Fox and stuff, and Lorenzo Lamas. The list goes on and on. It's who you know. They're gonna if you do good. If you go on set, we always teach set etiquette. If you're acting right on set, you're not making a fool of yourself. People are gonna see that. People are gonna recommend you to other sets, bigger sets, and that's how you grow in this industry.
Nice. How would somebody be able to keep up to whenever you're having classes? Is there a page that you have for your class, or
Yeah, we follow me on social media. Michael Ochotorena or Ocho 8mm 8mm. I like to say so Ocho OCHO 8 like number 8 and then MM. Um, always having like future classes set up on there or JJ Fernandez. Um, I follow him and we're always up there having classes. Um, we try and make it affordable so that way and you also gain stuff like we offered this last time headshots, demo reels,
Mhm.
and of course, you took the class, you're going to be automatically in the movie that we were making. So,
That is awesome. I just want to make sure that if people, when people go to look for it, that they can find your class, as well as to be able to, obviously network and be able to get more experience. Because, like I said, if you're sitting still and you're not learning, you're not moving forward, you're not helping your career any bit. And so, these classes are extremely helpful. I know that, JJ did explain it to me before, and before Alamo City Zombie, I did want to come down there. It's just, San Antonio is a bit of a drive from Fort Worth, so
well, now
and
you know me. So, any project I'm involved in, you hit me up. If you want to be part of it, bro, you're always welcome.
okay, I appreciate it, man. Now,
Like I said, anyone out there who doesn't know me, get to know me, man. I'll put you in a movie. I'll get you started. I'm always looking for fresh faces, new talent. I like finding the next big guy or the next big girl. And I'm not talking weight wise. I'm talking about just stardom wise. But I'm always looking for that next big person. So hit me up. Ocho 8mm, Michael Ochotorena on Facebook. I got a TikTok. You look up Michael Ocho. Um, there's ways to find me, and trust me, Ocho's pretty well known in San Antonio and Texas area.
for sure, and I think I remember one time I was talking to JJ, and he was going up to Tyler for one of your matches,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I ended
so
up putting him as a referee. He didn't know I was going to do that.
that is awesome. Oh man, I didn't find out till the time that he was almost there, But I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out because I was like, man,
March
that was so cool.
22nd is my next show in Bastrop Community Convention Center. I'm sorry. It's during one of the cons. They're having a horror con they're having up there. So we're one of the attractions up there. So 22nd at 5 p.m. Bastrop Convention Center. Hollywood Ocho, Hollywood Junior, a lot of Destroyer, Tejano, a lot of big time wrestlers will be there. So come out, support AIWF, NEW Wrestling, and we're going to have a good time.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Now, uh, any last bit of advice? We're kind of early on our show today, I guess, because our first guest kind of had to go early. But is there any bit of advice that you give somebody who's brand new? I know you've given a lot of advice already. Any kind of basic for them getting started? Like, what is
The main thing is when you want to start in this business is just be very approachable, be trainable, be that learner. Don't be someone who thinks they know it all. Um, have set etiquette. So don't overtalk a director, don't overtalk the producers. Go in there and do what you're going to do. Do the best job so that people recognize you through not your words, but your
oh,
product, your
I just
your
disconnected from
acting.
my Wi-Fi. I guess we're having little issues with the internet.
So I don't know if you
Uh,
heard. I just said, "Are you there?
oh, here he is. Oh no,
You there?
am I back now? Hello. And
I can hear you."
please tell me in the comments if you can hear me. I think I'm live, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, something went wrong. Well, of
I
course.
can hear you.
There we go. Now we're back. Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What
Okay.
I was
I
just
think
saying
that what
before was
happened
set
is
etiquette.
oh, I'm sorry. We have construction going on over here, so my internet gets a little weird sometimes. But
That's
anyway,
fine.
so
That's
you
fine.
said that you were going into the last bit of advice that you would give to somebody who's going in something like
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
you
It was
said
just like
be approachable.
one of them being set etiquette, like pay attention, don't overstep your boundaries, listen to the director, listen to producers, the filmmakers, show everyone your worth not by you talking up and speaking up or giving your suggestions, but by how you work and by how you act. Sorry, that's my dog going off in the background. But yeah, and basically, always learn, always learn. If not my training, go to other people's trainings. There's acting coaches out there. I know Kiki does an acting class as well. There's a ton of people out there who you can learn from. And I'm drawing a blank right now. But you can always ask me. Like I said, I gave my info out there. You guys can always hit me up. I'm a very approachable person. You write me, you message me, I'm going to respond back. Any other questions?
Man.
Can you hear me?
Hey, well, me in the chat, see me in the chat for the show, this private chat. I actually see you in the studio. Just give me a thumb if you can hear me. Well, nope.
The
Okay.
video quality is not great, but I
Um,
am hearing your audio.
my connect or huh,
You good?
I can't see anything. Hold on, let me see. Checking to see if the Wi-Fi's on. Oh, there we go.
I'm
Okay, so
watching the messenger. If you have
Will, can
anything
you hear me?
to say, little dog.
Oh, that's messed up. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Hello? How about now? Can you hear me?
I think we lost Ocho.
I don't know. I think I'm still freezing up, it looks like.
You're very choppy. I cannot see you very well at all. I mean, I can see you. I can hear you, but I can't. You're not moving. And Ocho is no longer with us.
Okay. There it is.
There he is. What if you are you able to restart your StreamYard? Refresh the page.
Hold on. See, on my end, I can see everything fine. But I look on the site, I am seeing that I'm having issues. Okay, and we're back. All right. Am I looking a little bit better?
Yep.
There you go, man. I'm not sure if it's my internet or what's going on. I think it's my internet.
Yeah, because you were busting up.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing too. And it looks like I'm a little choppy still. But I'm sorry. If I cut off, Will's still gonna be there. And I I really want you to get your last message out because I you know I wanted to have a solid part because we're gonna edit it as well. This isn't the final version. There's gonna be a Spotify part that comes out where we're gonna cut out all this choppy part. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Yeah,
So if
like
you're
I
ever
said,
gonna go,
yeah, I think you had asked me what I suggest to people who want to be in this industry, right?
yes, sir.
And basically, it's just be a learner. Don't think you're better than anyone else. Don't think you know it all. Continue to learn, continue to grow. When you go onto set, remember set etiquette. Listen to the director, listen to the producers, um, listen to the higher ups. Show them not by you thinking you know it all and talking your head off, but show them by your acting your worth. Also, if you get frustrated in this business, and a lot of people do because sometimes it feels like you're doing all this and you're not getting ahead, or you reach this plateau where you're just doing the same thing over and over, or you're not getting paid yet, or you're getting paid little. Just never give up. I didn't give up, and look at me now. Just keep going, pushing forward. You know your worth. Go for it. So that's my
Perfect.
my line of advice.
So one final question. I know I said that I was gonna do that one, but one thing popped up. When are we gonna see an autobiography for you? Because that is an
So
amazing
right now,
story.
I'm working on the Hollywood Ocho story. It's almost done. It's an editing process, so that'll be a documentary coming out soon.
Nice.
So the
That's
Hollywood
nice.
Ocho story, look out for it soon. That'll probably be coming out next couple months as well.
All right.
Told you I've been busy, man. I've been real busy. And can I do some shout outs real quick before my time's up?
Yes, sir. Feel free.
All right, man. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank my partners, Gary Lee Vincent, Will Colazzo, and Cult Cinema. And Gary Lee Vincent, my partner with Burning Ball Publishing. Also, JJ Fernandez with The Outsiders. And more than anything, um, I would like to thank my wife, Cece. She's my backbone. She's the one that's there when I can't find two pairs of socks that match, and that's figuratively. And last but not least, Jesus Christ, who without him nothing's possible.
Man, I appreciate it. That is awesome. And if any of them want to, come onto the show, they're more than welcome to reach out. Like I said, I support and we support independent film, and we want to help promote everybody who's trying to make a difference and raise themselves up higher. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And later on, whenever we have that full stage going, because that is something that I'm working on, all of our guests, we want you guys to come back again because I plan on running it kind of like a late night show and
Yep.
hopefully becoming
Sounds good.
Texas's first late night. Okay?
Sounds good. It'll be a pleasure to meet you in person. You
For
have a
sure.
good one. Take care. God bless. And remember, bro, I'm rooting for you. Keep growing, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. You have a good
All right.
night.
Hollywood Ocho out.
Yeah. It's thank you very much. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna do our closing thoughts. Guys, that was a really amazing show. Hollywood Ocho, definitely a guy to keep an eye on and to keep watch out for. He's got a lot of really amazing projects that are about to drop. And I can't wait to see them. Like you said, Alamo City Zombie, Cali Zombieland. I love Zombieland. It's one of my favorite movies, so I can't wait to see it. It's got own autobiography, but you know, and the closing, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. You can really come from any background and turn your life around, become an inspiration, become one of these inspirational stories. I mean, even if you don't have it, that kind of inspirational story like that, everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own backstory. And in the age that we live in today, it is not impossible for somebody to come along and make their own films. You can write, you can direct. I've seen films being shot on iPhones. uh the technology is out there, and honestly now is actually the time. So if you have a passion, if you have something that you want to do as far as films that you want to see, if you're creative, most of the creativity is in the masses. We know what we'd like to all watch because it's something that we'd like to be related to, something relatable to us, and that's what people like watching, is something real. And so if you have an idea, if you have things that you want to do, this episode was really great with a lot of information, like from Cali Girl or Cali Faye. She told us about where to go for copyright in order to copyright your stuff. You know, uh, she's also a good resource to talk to. Michael Ocho, he is an excellent source to reach out to. He has years and years of experience in this industry, and he has been making waves, making things happen. He is definitely somebody that you want to network with. And that's what we're here for, is to highlight people that you want to network with. We are welcoming all sorts of people who would want to come onto the show. I don't discriminate, not against different people. I'm welcome and open to everyone to come on. All right. So I'm going to put my email in the chat. Enter. Oops, I was gonna spell that wrong. Yours dot littledog at gmail.com. And if you're interested in becoming a guest, you can either reach out to me on Facebook or reach out to me in email. Let's have a chat. I'm more than willing to hear your story, to put you on here, to help you to network as well. If you have resources, tips, or anything like that, I'd love to put you on. I do have some big guests that are be coming on in the future. I do want to bring in writers. I want to bring in PAs. I want to bring in more directors, producers to talk to everybody. I want to bring in financial professionals to help everybody out. The show is here to help people out, and that's what I love to do. Is I love helping. I love helping independent film. I love helping people who are trying to better their lives by being creative and showing creativity. I love helping that. And so you're more than welcome to reach out. Get a hold of me at the email right here, today's.entertainers.littledog@gmail.com. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp My WhatsApp number is 1-817-673-2247. Again, 1-817-673-2247, and that's on WhatsApp. And that will be under Today's Entertainers with Little Dog. I do have social medias. If you don't mind going and following them, you can follow my Facebook. You can follow the Facebook for this page, which is Today's Entertainers with Little Dog. We're also on Instagram, Today's Entertainers with Little Dog, and YouTube. You see the YouTube handle right here. You can also go to my producer's page as well, where you'll find a lot of our older episodes, our older lives, and some lives that aren't even posted. Actually, I think that we're going to be making a Patreon with bloopers later on, as well as some other unreleased material. So, you know, that will be some productions that we're going to talk about later on. We'll see how that goes. But I'm also on TikTok. My page, Redbones Financial. So it's TEW dot little dot dog, and that's on TikTok. But I mostly use TikTok for editing. I know I shouldn't, but I use it mostly for editing because it's got some really cool tools. And so a lot of the ads that you see on here, I've actually made them on TikTok first, and then downloaded them and shared them. Now, we want to thank everybody, from Bell Ringer Film Productions, from Today's Entertainers with Little Dog, myself, Lafayama. I want to thank you all for watching, and I appreciate everybody's support, everybody who's helping to help us grow, helping us to become a little bit more widespread, to making the dream happen, of a late night show of Today's Entertainers with Little Dog. I really appreciate everybody out there and all of your support that you guys give. You guys have no clue how much I appreciate it. It helps to motivate me to keep going on. I know that I'm not like most other podcasts that podcast, throughout the week, or, whenever you have a guest. I love running it this way to where we have an actual show, because I love for it to be like a show, and I want people to learn about other people, personalize with the actors that you see, so that way you can you'd be like, wow, that guy's story is amazing, or be inspired by somebody else who's done something great, and made things happen. So thank you guys very much. We're gonna play a little reel right here at the end, with all of our sponsors, as well as Honeybee Funds, and then we're gonna have the outro song, which is actually a brand new title song for us. So stick around, check it out. Will's worked pretty hard for it, and right at the end, it's at the composer of our final outro song is actually something that was done live on the show, and special thanks to DJ Kane. DJ Kane is amazing. Started listening a long time ago whenever, the Cumbia Kings were out. And so I have no clue. Honestly, I had no clue what he was saying or what any of them were singing, because most of it was in Spanish. I listened to the English songs and I knew what they were saying, but in Spanish, I had no clue what was saying. I love the music, the voice, the vocals, the rapping, everything in there was just amazing. So I listened to them anyways. And then when they came out with the English songs, I was like, hey, yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and play that reel. Thank you, guys.
This episode is brought to you by Honeybee Funds. Honeybee is a nonprofit organization set up to help house homeless people that fall through all the cracks of other help. Homelessness in America has skyrocketed since 2020, and it's senseless in the wealthiest country in America. Outside of natural disasters, Honeybee believes there is no reason for homelessness in America. Some people will fall through the cracks because they have no children, no elderly living in their household. Some homeless people are not recovering from drug addiction or recently released from jail, so they are not viewed as priority for housing. Honeybee Funds is set up to help homeless find a home, even if they have large dog that they count as part of their family. Email charliepooch131@gmail.com if you wish to contribute to Honeybee Funds. Now we
corazón, y ahora vienes a buscarme. Un día fuiste todo para mí, y ahora no puedo ni verte.